Hello, my lovelies. It is that time of the month again, i.e. the end of the month, where I need to pick my October TBR. So we are going to be doing my October TBR game, TBR 21's again today. But before we get into that, let's have a little review of what happened last month. So last month was a bit all over the shop because there was Bookoplathon, there's Magical Readathon. So I'm going to try and go through it in a relatively logical order. Obviously, if you don't care, you can skip straight ahead to the next bit, the TBR bit. I'll try and put a timestamp in the description box for that. But last month, my TBR was quite convoluted. So first of all, I did my first series of Pick My Next, and last month it was Pick My Next Historical Fiction. Thank you to everyone who commented, and also the October version will be going up this Thursday, so I'd love it if you'd go and pick me a book from the options. Getting back to the point, the book that won last month was Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell, which I have here somewhere, hang on. Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell. I buddy read this with the lovely Nikki over at Red Dot Reads. So yeah, I did read this one. Full thoughts will come in my wrap up either at the end of this week or the beginning of next week, depending on my time management. So yeah, I'll give full thoughts then, but good book. Then we did Bookoplathon, and this is where it starts going a bit wrong. So the first prompt I got was humans. For that I was supposed to read Assassin's Apprentice by Rob and Hobb. I didn't get to it. Did not get to it, which is a shame because I do really want to read this, but I just didn't get around to it. Then I got new book, and for that I was supposed to read Flesh and Bone and Water by Luiza Sauma. Didn't get to this one either. It does get better, I promise. I did read some books. And the next one was Myth, Folklore, Fairy Tale. And for that I chose House of Names by Colm Toibin, I think is how you say it, which I listened to on audiobook, so I did read that one. Next up was The Midnight Library, which I've taken the cover off because I can't look after things. But as you'll see, I've got literally like 30 pages left of this. So I'll finish this today. So completed that one. And then my last role on the Bookoplathon board was LGBTQ plus rep, where I was supposed to read Life as a Unicorn by Amrou Al-Kadhi, and I didn't get to this one either. So apologies, only 2 out of 5 from Bookoplathon. Then we moved on to my TBR 21's. So the first card I picked was 8 of Diamonds. So that was an award winner on my ebook. I picked Love After Love by Ingrid Persaud for this, and I have not got to it. Then I picked a 2 of Diamonds, which was a translated ebook, and for that I picked Before the Coffee Gets Cold, and I'm currently reading that. I'm 50% through. It's only like 200 odd pages, so I will finish that by the end of the month. And then the last one I picked was 8 of Diamonds, which was any book I want on my Kindle, and I picked In the Woods by Tana, and I have read that. So all in all, from the TBR of 9, I read 5 of them. So just over 50%, which I know isn't great, but c'est la vie. I don't do punishments at the moment. I am potentially going to bring them in January. We'll see how we go. But so for now, it's just, oh dear. So the other thing that was going on was the magical readathon hosted by G over at Book Roast. So for this, you had to try and go around the locations on the map. You had to fulfill 2 prompts to complete the readathon, and I completed 6. So that's pretty good. Hopefully you'll be seeing right now the map where I'll put the book covers on the ones that I have read. I will be doing the character creation vlog next month, so you'll have to sort of wait and see which books I pick for that, also known as I haven't decided yet. But yeah, so that wasn't too bad. Magic Readathon went better than Bookathon. So yes. Right, now getting into this month's TBR. Before we start, I look really short. Before we start, there are 2 readathons, not readathons, read-alongs that I'm going to take part in this month. One is the Broken Earth Along, which is hosted by Clumsy Charlotte, Bookish Buddies and the Bookaholic. I'll link all their channels below, but they are doing a 3-month read-along where you read 1 book each month from the Broken Earth trilogy, starting with the 5th season by N.K. Jemison. Didn't mention that. So I'm hoping to participate in that this month. So pick up that one in October. The other readathon, this shows you what an eclectic reader I am, I think. So we go from high fantasy, epic fantasy, to The Divine Comedy by Dante. I don't know why I thought this was a good idea, but basically Kieran over at KD Reads and Ben at Doom Antidote are doing a read along for this. Again, it's going to be 3 months, 1 for each section. So the first section is Dante's Inferno, which is probably what most people have heard of. Then there's Purgatorio, and then the last section is Paradiso. So yeah, it's a bit intense. It's like written in prose, and then there's like descriptive bits at the bottom of this version. Obviously translated from ancient Greek, I believe. So yeah, this is pushing me well and truly out of my comfort zone, but each section is only about 200 pages. And I'm hoping that because I'm doing it as a read along, that all the bits I don't understand, they will understand. Also, if you've seen the 2 of them together, they are hilarious. So really, I just wanted to go and attend and be part of that read along for Bants. I'm not going to lie. So those are the 2 read-alongs that I am going to do in October. There are so many readathons going on, but I've decided to not participate in any because I want to do those 2 read-alongs. I'm also going to do my character creation, and I've got a few other little bits, like videos planned for October, so I don't want to overburden myself. So I am aware that there's some amazing readathons going on, but I just can't commit to anything else this month. So let's start the TBR game. So for those of you that haven't seen this before, or are new, or quite frankly can't remember what I said last month, which to be fair, I can't remember what I said yesterday, so that's fine. This TBR game is based around 21's. So the game where you pull the cards until you reach 21. Obviously you may not reach 21. If you go over, you go bust. So in broad terms, each suit corresponds to a reading format. So for example, diamonds are ebooks. I'll put the graphic up here so you can sort of see what everything corresponds to. And then each number is a prompt of sorts, and most of them are related to goals that I'm trying to fulfill this year. So I wanted to read more non-fiction, so non-fiction is on there. I wanted to read more translated fiction, classics. So those are all, those all have a corresponding number, and then whichever suit it is determines which format I read it in. Ace is wild, which means I can read anything that I want within that format, and then hearts are also wild, so I can pick whatever format I want for those prompts if I pull a heart. With me so far? Excrement. So if I go over 21s and go bust, I have to pick, hang on, let me grab it. I have to pick from my intimidating reads cup. So in here, oh, now spread all over my floor, are a selection of the books that are most intimidating on my TBR. It's a mix of physical and ebooks. So yeah, if I go over 21, I have to pick something from this mug. If I don't reach 21, so say I pull cards and I get to 19, I'm too short of 21, I then have to make a decision. I either pull a card and try and get to 21 and risk going over and pulling from the cup, or I can pull additional prompt cards to get me to 21. So if I've pulled a 19 and I decide I'm not going to risk going any further, I'm 2 away from 21, so I pull 2 more cards, effectively adding 2 more books to my TBR rather than 1 intimidating read. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. If not, hopefully it will make sense as we go. But yeah, let's play and see, because it's been pretty nice to me so far, my TBR game. She says, tempting fate to the utmost degree. So let's have a go and see what it comes up with. Okay, so we're going to start with round 1. And I hope the cards are nice to me. As to be fair, they have been reasonably nice to date. Okay, so first card for round 1. We have a 10. So Diamonds is a Kindle book, and 10, as you can see, is a book by a author of colour. Okay, so first card, 10 of Diamonds, which is an ebook by an author of colour, which is perfect because the 5th season is on my Kindle and N.K. Jemison is an author of colour. So the first book to go on my TBR is the 5th season. Okay, next we have another Kindle book, and this time we have something on Goodreads. Next we got a 6 of Diamonds. We haven't had a 6 before. So a 6 is anything that was nominated in the 2020 Goodreads Choice Awards. Say that if you're drunk. So for this, I'm going to go for The Glass Hotel by Emily St. John Mandel. I also have her other book, Station 11, on my shelves that I really want to get to at some point, but we're on Kindle, so we're going to go for that. It was nominated in the fiction category last year. This didn't get as good reviews as Station 11, so we'll see what I think, but yeah, I'm going to add that one on. Okay, so we have an audiobook now. Spades is the suit for audiobooks, and we have a booktuber recommendation. Okay, 4 of Spades. So that is an audiobook, and 4 is a booktuber rec. So I had a little gander back to people's like best of from last year videos. And I'm going to go for one that was recommended by Simon over at Savage Reads, and that is How We Fight for Our Lives by Saeed Jones. This is a non-fiction memoir. It's supposed to be very good. Once I've listened to it, I shall let you know. And I think it's narrated by the author, and they always do a great job when it's a memoir, I think. So adding that one on. And that takes us to 20. So I could either pull another card hoping that it's an ace, or the difference between 20 and 21 is 1. So I can pull 1 extra card to move me safely to the position of 21, which is what I'm going to do, because I don't want to pull from the cup of intimidating reads. So, the extra card I'm going to pull, I'll pop that up there. Okay, so we've got another audiobook and Goodreads again. So another book that was nominated on the Goodreads Choice Awards last year. Okay, so a 6 of spades. So Goodreads again, so something nominated on the Goodreads Choice Awards, but this time an audiobook. And for this, I'm going to pick up From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is fantasy romance. Think it might be a bit too romantic for me, but everyone's been raving about it. I've got severe fear of missing out, so I'm gonna give it a go and, you know, see if the hype train is worth joining or not. Okay, so moving on to round 2. First card is a book on my Kindle and an award winner. We have had that every single time I've done this game. So I'm going to move it up so it's more in the middle. So yeah, another award winner on my Kindle. Okay, so starting round 2. First round wasn't awful. 4 books, no intimidating reads, so that's good. So first pull for round 2 was 8 of spades. So this is an award winner on audio. So for this, I'm going to go for Americannah by Chimamanda Ngozi Adiche. If you saw my recent Kindle haul, you'll know that she's one of the authors that I'm really keen to get to soon, and I have that book on my Audible account, so I'm going to give that one a go. Next. Okay, another audiobook. No, that's not audiobook. Sorry, I'm telling you lies. This one is an audiobook, so an award winner on audio and a booktuber rec on Kindle. Okay, another Kindle book. So number 4 is a booktuber rec. So for this one, I'm going to go for Fortuna Sworn. This was recommended by Ashley over at Frolic Through Fiction. I think Becca's also really liked this one. So Ashley mentioned one further on in the series in her best of for last year, but obviously I haven't read the series, so I'm just going to pick up this first one. Sorry, you're a bit wonky. And yeah, interestingly though, my booktube friend Ellie over at Bibbidi Bobbidi Books read this recently, and she was a bit meh about it. So interesting to see where I will sit on the spectrum, especially because this is fantasy romance, which romance, as you may know if you've been here before, isn't really my cup of tea. We'll see. And that takes us to 12. Whew. Audiobooks. Lots of audiobooks this month. So a book in a series. Wowee, another audiobook. So yeah, maybe I'll just have to do loads of housework this month and stick me headphones in, because that's a lot of audiobooks for a month. But this time we got a series. For this, I am going to choose Mustard Seed by Leila Ibrahim. I did discuss this in my Kindle haul from this month as well, because this is on Kindle Unlimited as an audio and an ebook. And yeah, keen to pick that one up again. So for this, we'll go with Mustard Seed. And that takes us to 17. So if I pull a card and it's higher than a 4, then I have to pull from the Intimidating Reads jar. But otherwise I've got to pull 4 cards for 4 books. So is it better to do 1 intimidating read or 4 additional books? I think we're just going to risk it for a biscuit and pull another card. Okay. It'd be nice to get a physical book on here somewhere. Okay, so Hearts is wild, so it can be any format I want, and that is translated, and it's 2. So I haven't gone bust. That's not pulling from the Intimidating Reads jar. It takes us to 19. Okay, so a heart. So any any format I want, and as we haven't picked one single physical book yet, I think we'll go for that. So, and 2 is translated. So for this, I'm going to pick up The Housekeeper and the Professor by Yoko Ogawa. I have been so excited to pick this up for ages, but just haven't got around to it. So this is the perfect opportunity to push me to pick this one up. Yeah, so that's going on the TBR. So now I have the choice of pulling 2 cards or pulling from the Intimidating Read jar if I get more than a 2 on my next pull. That's because this is already quite a large TBR now. We're up to 8. So if I pull 2 more, that's 10 books on my TBR. Do I want to do that, or do I want to do the Intimidating Read? But the trouble is, if I pull one, I've still got to do that card, even if it makes me go bust. So I'm going to have another book and an Intimidating Read, potentially. You know what, no, I'm just going to pull 2 extra cards to get me to 21 and not pull from the Intimidating Reads jar. So I've got, god damn it. Okay, so I've got a physical wild card, say any physical book that I please. Okay, a physical book this time, and wild, which is ideal because it means that I can get the Divine Comedy on the list. Yay. So yeah, it's going on, and we'll see how I get on with that. And a TBR vet on audio. Interesting. Okay, finally, last pull. Unfortunately, it was another audiobook. So that's now 5 audiobooks for this month. Yeah, that's a lot. So, and this is a TBR vet. So the oldest book that I have on... Oh, sorry, just kicked you. Rude. The oldest book that I have on my Audible account is a book by Jeffrey Archer that I think I just downloaded because it was free, but we'll give it a go. And it was called Only Time Will Tell. And indeed, only time will tell if it's worth listening to. So I will add that one to the TBR, and we're done. We're out. We're finished. 10 books, which is a large TBR. I think the most books I've ever managed in a month is 11. And yeah, 5 of these are audiobooks. So that's a lot of hours of listening, especially because some of them are quite chunky, like Of Blood and Ash, and Americannah is quite large as well. Oh well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that, my friends, is that. So the trouble is, when I read lots of audiobooks and Kindle books, is that my stack looks really tiny. But yeah, so I will be trying to read those 10 this month. I will come back to you, obviously, at the end of October and let you know how I got on. But for now, I think that's it. So thank you all for listening. I would love it if you'd consider subscribing, ticking the like. Drop me a comment if you've read any of these, if they're worth my time and effort. And any books that you're planning on reading this October. All of my social media and stuff is linked below. So please feel free to drop me a message on Instagram or anything like that if you're keen to do a buddy read. Or just connect at all. That would be lovely. And yeah, I'll see you soon for another one. Cheers, guys. Bye.